What's going on, everyone? We installed a set of long tube headers on our 2018 GT with stock active exhaust, and we're gonna show you what it sounds like in all 4 modes and how that compares to a completely stock setup. And just because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to hear the difference between some of the modes, especially track and sport, I'll have a decibel reader with me and I'll be showing you guys the reading in each of the 4 modes. Of course, we'll let you guys hear revs and takeoffs in each mode, especially since the active exhaust does change under load. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, just so you can keep up to date with everything that we have going on here at AM. But right now, let's talk about these long tubes. So we installed Corsa's long tube headers and kept the stock catback on this car. With the addition of the active exhaust option for the 2018 GT, I don't think it's going to be uncommon to see more people sticking with their stock catbacks than we've typically seen in the past. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's not to say that you can't swap out your stock active exhaust for aftermarket active exhaust catbacks, but just that more people might be happier with the stock exhaust from the factory. So we figured we'd show you guys what the stock catback sounds like with a nice set of long tubes on it and compare it to how the car sounded before the long tubes were installed. Of course, Corsa's long tube headers have 3-inch collectors, so we had to make things work here. We installed step-down adapters so we could run our 2.5-inch stock exhaust with the long tubes, and we also had to trim some of the Corsa extension pipes so the stock catback would still fit. So needless to say, yes, long tubes will work with the stock catback, but you have to do some work to get it there. Now that you know what the setup is, let's get this car outside and show you guys what it sounds like in each mode. So you guys are gonna hear the stock sound clip first, and then we'll show you what this thing sounds like with the long tube headers and the stock catback installed. I have my decibel meter here with me. I'm gonna be standing about 10 feet back behind the car. We're gonna start with quiet mode first, so take a listen and hear what it sounds like. So our reading with a fully stock exhaust setup was 100.7. Our reading now with the long tube headers in quiet mode is 105.7, and that is a huge jump over the stock exhaust setup. This is actually louder than normal mode with the stock exhaust. There's a very big difference in quiet mode with the long tube headers. That being said, I still have to say that quiet mode does a great job, even with the long tube headers installed, on quieting the car down. I can't wait to see what normal mode has in store for us now. Alright guys, so frankly, this is impressive. Our reading with a fully stock exhaust was 111.9. With our long tube headers installed in normal mode, we are now seeing a reading of 121.8. That's a huge gain. That's even bigger than the gain that we saw in quiet mode. And we are now officially louder than the stock exhaust in track mode. I can't wait to see what sport mode brings for us. Once again, guys, we have a big change over our stock setup. Our stock reading was 113.4. We are now seeing a reading of 123.6. We are consistently staying 10 decibels higher than our stock setup with the Corsa long tubes here and still maintaining the stock catback. So we saw a 2 decibel jump between normal and sport mode. Let's see what track mode has to bring. All right guys, at this point I think it's pretty safe to say that we have maxed out our stock cat bag. So our stock reading in track mode was 114.3. We are now looking at a reading of 123.8 in track mode. That is a small jump over our sport mode reading. So needless to say, guys, you may not necessarily have to go with an aftermarket cat bag setup if you want to run long tubes and if you want a ton of volume. As you can see, we are about 10 decibels higher over our stock exhaust setup. Once again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, American Muscle Videos. And for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.